Welcome to the final module in the Exploring the Opportunity Atlas course. Over the past 3 modules, we've learned about the data behind the Opportunity Atlas, key features and foundational concepts, and how to use the Atlas to identify differences in adult outcomes and neighborhood characteristics. In this module, we will show you a real-world example of how local government workers, researchers, and nonprofit organizations in Seattle use the Opportunity Atlas to inform and support a local housing policy pilot program. But before we dive in, let's revisit the big idea behind our research one more time.
Oh, I know this. The neighborhood that children grow up in has a significant impact on their upward income mobility as adults.
Exactly. If a child from a low-income family grows up in a neighborhood with little upward income mobility, chances are that child's income as an adult will be significantly less than a child who grows up in a neighborhood with high upward income mobility. Yet, a troubling fact is that low-income families, including those that receive housing assistance like housing choice vouchers, tend to live in neighborhoods with little upward income mobility. To create housing policies to disrupt this pattern of persistent poverty, it's important to understand which strategies are effective in broadening families' choices about where to live. A team of researchers at Opportunity Insights worked with the Seattle and King County housing authorities to design and evaluate a new pilot program for low-income families with young children. Let's check it out to get a better sense of how the Opportunity Atlas can be used by policymakers.
Although there has been growing interest among policymakers to develop policies and programs based on neighborhood outcomes, they frequently had to rely on more indirect indicators such as poverty rates. Outcomes-based indicators, like in the Opportunity Atlas, provide a new tool that can help policymakers design policies with greater specificity for specific populations. To support families' access to high-opportunity neighborhoods, Seattle and King County housing authorities used the Opportunity Atlas to identify affordable neighborhoods with the highest upward income mobility.
In using the Opportunity Atlas, it really began to demonstrate to us that there were areas within the city that families did better by virtue of them living there. What we're really about is trying to provide opportunities for our residents to be successful. The Opportunity Atlas gives us that. It's a data source that individual communities can shape to their local priorities.
The Atlas provided precise outcomes data to expand and evolve the housing authority's neighborhood mapping processes, in some cases reinforcing and validating certain neighborhoods that had been identified as high opportunity using indirect indicators, and in other cases, the Atlas identified additional neighborhoods as high opportunity that previous measures had missed.
One of the things that the Opportunity Atlas allowed us to do is to identify areas that had predictability of success for those low-income families, but also had higher rent. This allowed us to kind of surgically identify the right areas that would benefit from a higher payment standard, so families would consider moving to those communities. Using that flexibility, we were able to raise the payment standards in those areas without having to raise the payment standards in other areas that were not necessary.
As mentioned in Module 3, the data the Atlas provides is important, yet incomplete, and should be supplemented with local perspectives. The public housing authorities shared their findings with the community members to make sure that nothing was missed or misrepresented in the data. Additionally, Seattle and King County partners supplemented the Atlas data with local education data to evaluate time trends. They also used local insights to inform how the maps could reflect contiguous and natural boundaries, such as town borders or school catchment areas. These processes were important for alignment with current housing program operations. These new maps provided the foundation for the pilot program. All program participants received a housing choice voucher, and some were randomly selected to also receive additional information about the benefits of living in high upward mobility neighborhoods, as well as housing search assistance to remove barriers in identifying and securing rental properties in these areas. The pilot results were incredibly promising. 53% of families who received additional services moved to high upward mobility neighborhoods, as compared to only 15% of families in the comparison group who did not receive additional services.
The results have been extraordinary. The families are integrated into the community seamlessly, which is the ultimate success from our perspective.
A nearly 40 percentage point difference is huge because research shows that low-income kids that grow up in neighborhoods with a history of upward income mobility are more likely to have better outcomes as adults. Not only are they more likely to earn more as adults, they are also more likely to attend college. This is an example of how the Opportunity Atlas can be a powerful tool in shaping policy and program design. In this case, refining and validating mapping data to support families' housing choices to improve their children's outcomes.
That's really inspiring. How do I learn more about that study and how those agencies use the Atlas?
Check out the paper Creating Moves to Opportunity: Experimental Evidence on Barriers to Neighborhood Choice by visiting opportunityinsights.org/Atlas Resources. The same data used in the Seattle and King County pilot program is available for everyone to use in their own cities. We can't wait to see how you'll use it. And that's it. You did it.
That's it?
Now it's your turn. Go to opportunityatlas.org and use the Opportunity Atlas to identify which neighborhoods in your area help low-income children have better outcomes as adults. Explore dozens of neighborhood characteristics to help uncover important insights.
Talk to the people who live in those neighborhoods to understand how history and other factors contributed to the outcomes of the children who grew up there.
Then create informed policies and programs to revive the American dream. The power of big data is in your hands, but the data is only powerful when people use it in powerful ways.